A man became the first to ever walk across the Niagara Falls Gorge, 2-inch diameter rope, 2,200 feet long. Now just think for a minute about some of the possible distractions that he faced on that walk. If you've ever been to Niagara Falls, I have. It's awesome to see. You can probably visualize some of the conditions there near the falls. Think of all the mist of water that's constantly rising up. It looks like a cloud down in the gorge. The winds seem to be constant, but they gust quite a bit. Some instances, they may have some hecklers in the crowd trying to distract them, which you wouldn't hope that that would happen in a feat such as he accomplished, one that could mean his very life. But there are many distractions, and any one of those things, if he allowed it, could cost him his very life, not just being successful. So a tightrope walker has to block those things out. He must block those things out to be successful. When you think about it, our journey through this system that we live in today is kind of like walking on a tightrope. We're striving to get from here to that promised new world that Jehovah has described to us and held out to us. And there's a lot of dangers lurking. There are a lot of distractions that could come up and affect our success. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 42, he told us to keep on the watch, therefore, because you don't know on what day your Lord is coming. We have to keep on the watch. We have to maintain focus. Peter also gave us some fine counsel in 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. If you'd open there with me to 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8, he gave us a little more specifics on why we have to keep ourselves awake. He said there, keep your senses, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking to devour you, seeking to devour someone. Yes, Satan wishes for all of us to fail, to fall off of our tightrope, to lose our life. That's his goal. How does he do that? How does he try to accomplish that? Well, he uses distractions to try to cause us to slip and fall. There are many types of distractions, but one in particular that he uses very successfully is the news media and apostates. He uses them quite effectively. He's very skillful. In fact, he generally will use a topic that may be near and dear to our heart. Maybe something that we feel very strongly about. Things that we love, like children, family, the congregation arrangement. He can skillfully use this means of the media, especially when there are reports of one of those things that we care about being mistreated or maybe even abused. So he has this widespread forum of the media that he can reach many, many people simultaneously, and he can easily twist the facts and undermine our confidence in Jehovah and his representatives. When we think about Jehovah and the instructions that he gives us on how to live, it's kind of like a path or a tightrope in some people's minds. Some people view it as very narrow and unforgiving. But Jehovah assures us if we follow that path, or we walk on that tightrope with him, he can help us be successful. But if we lose our focus due to the efforts of these means that we're talking about here, it can be disastrous for us. Very soon, if we lose our focus, we could lose our balance. We could lose our trust and our faith and our confidence in Jehovah and the arrangements that Jehovah's made to help us, like the elders, the congregation arrangement. We could begin to question and be suspicious of all of those things, because this is a very effective tool that Satan uses. He can make us experience a spiritual demise. Does that mean that when we hear a report of some alleged mistreatment of one who perhaps we care about, maybe we know personally, that it just can't be true because it came from the media? Not at all. That doesn't mean it can't be true. Remember what it tells us in 2 Timothy. Open with me to 2 Timothy chapter 3. But know this, that in the last days, critical times, hard to deal with, will be here. And it goes on to describe the attitudes that will exist at that time among people. And as a result of those attitudes, people will mistreat other people. And we know that we're living at that time. So yes, at times there are tragedies that take place. People do get mistreated. But Satan craftily can use those events to have an impact on us from far, far away. And he does it very well. So friends, we must be cautious. We have to remember that the media is a part of this system, Satan's system. How is that described for us in John chapter 5 and verse 19? We know that we originate with God, but the whole world is lying in the power of the wicked one. The whole world is under his control, and that includes the media. Sometimes it's fueled by politics, by money, by competition, a desire for prominence. All of those things often will drive how a story is presented in the media. And we have no way of knowing if the information that we're viewing or listening to is accurate. We just don't know. It could be spin. It could have been taken out of context. We have no way to verify it. All that we know is it came through a part of Satan's system. And so we have to be cautious about what we believe and how we let it affect us. We also know what the dangers are, and we've been learning about the dangers of apostate thinking and the things that apostates promote and the lies that they spread about Jehovah and his organization. Their goal is very simple. It is to ruin our relationship with Jehovah, to pull us away from Jehovah. And that's when we become vulnerable, when we give in to their efforts. And it shouldn't surprise us or shock us that it's becoming so widespread and prevalent today. Turn to the book of Acts, chapter 20, and verse 29. He said that, I know after my going away, oppressive wolves will enter in among you, and will not treat the flock with tenderness. And verse 30, it says, and from among you yourselves men will rise and speak twisted things to draw away the disciples after themselves. Yes, it was foretold that we would see these things, and in the end of the system, we would see their goal is highlighted in Colossians chapter 2. Look out that no one takes you captive by means of the philosophy and empty deception according to human tradition. Just like that tightrope walker, we cannot allow ourselves to be distracted by these things. There is zero tolerance for error in this area. Turn with me to the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5 again. But take your stand against him, firm in the faith, knowing that the same kind of sufferings are being experienced by the entire association of your brothers in the world. Yes, it can be distressing for us when we hear of a report, or maybe we know it to be true to some extent, somebody that's been mistreated. It tears at our hearts. But we have to make sure that we don't let that, let that cause us, I should say, to draw away from Jehovah, to blame him for whatever wrong has been done.